Hey guys, I want to do a quick rundown of how to become a homesteader. Here's the way I'm thinking of it, because the ultimate goal for all of us wannabe homesteaders is to have our 5 or 20 or 1,000 acres, and it's just super productive, and we've got our cows and sheep, and we're living off the land. We don't have to depend on the government anymore. It'll basically be utopia, and all our problems will be solved, right? Well, in today's video, I want to get real practical and how to become a homesteader. So the very first concept you need to embrace, this needs to become an absolute for you, is to do what you can with what you've got. And so for most people, that's not a whole lot, a lot less than what I have. And maybe you're renting and you can't do X, Y, and Z. What I would encourage you to do is to think a lot bigger, and don't let your thinking and your beliefs limit you. And so I think there's a place to, ask your landlord, hey, can I do X, Y, or Z? Or just go ahead, don't ask, raise quail or something small, and don't ask your landlord and raise it in your backyard. And if they don't like it, you say, oh, sorry, I didn't know, and then get rid of them. But ultimately, the reason they have these rules against stuff like animals is because people mismanage them. They let them poop everywhere, and it's just become a nuisance. But if you can watch some YouTube videos, see who's managing well their animals, and manage them in that way. And now, I own my home. I don't live in a place with an HOA, thank God. Seriously, thank you, God. And I raised pigs right here in my backyard, and I was able to manage the smell, and they weren't very noisy, and most of my neighbors had no idea, except for I told them all. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even known. So that's one example of what I've done with what I have. And most people are like, you can't raise a pig in your backyard and then butcher it in your backyard. Not saying that I did or I didn't, but once those pigs came to this yard, they never left. I'll say that. So the encouragement there is, most people are naysayers and they say, no, you can't raise pigs in your backyard. Well, you can, and it's possible. You just have to understand things and have certain resources available to you. So I had leaves available to me, and that was one of the most important things that I used to manage my pigs. And I use leaves to manage pretty much any manure, odor, composting, all that stuff. People bag up leaves for me. Sorry, somebody's looking at me through the window here. And I go pick them up. But it's pretty simple. I have a truck. I can load them up. I also have a little hatchback Suzuki SX4 that I could throw bags in the back of. So I had a bunch of chickens and some ducks get killed. And lately, I've been getting into feral Muscovy ducks. So this is what I have available to me. These are free birds. I just go catch them because they're wild. And one of them had those adorable little babies. She hatched them out herself. And so I went from having 2 ducks to having 8. That's great. I didn't go look at fencing prices and say, oh, well, dang, I can't build a fence. What I did is I went and stole pallets. Not steal, but, take without asking. And I built a fence. These are literally just screwed together. Beautiful little curved fence. Easy. The other important thing to do is to get off of the internet, YouTube and Instagram, all these people telling you what to do. Yes, even me. You need to stop watching me and go do things. You need to put seeds in the ground. You need to actually get a physical animal. If you have a yardstead like me, get a physical animal, put it in your yard. Even if you have to go catch a feral pigeon, which is legal, you can go catch them. Yes, do the old man thing and throw some breadcrumbs out and whatever, and take a net and catch them. Or however you want to do it. A little box with a little stick and catch them. And start there. Pigeons are good to eat. They lay eggs that are good to eat. And if you don't have money to buy some chickens, some laying hens, go get pigeons, build you a pigeon house, bird house, I don't know, out of pallets and things you can just find, and start with pigeons. That'd be a great place to start. They don't eat much. They're very low cost. A good place to start. And if you kill them on accident or something comes and eats, it's okay. Every homesteader has made these mistakes, and you need to start making these mistakes now rather than when you've finally saved up and you've got the 5 acres and then you start really doing stuff and you realize, oh, I don't know anything. And so what I'm trying to encourage you to do is do what you can on a small scale with what you have. My parents are visiting. I was just explaining to my mom, I basically have one of every different type of tree and plant, or 5 or whatever, but I have so much diversity. She's like, man, you've got everything in here. I was like, yeah, I want experience with every last plant I can get experience with that makes food for me. So the 4th thing you need to do if you want to be a homesteader, you need to experiment. You see, I have corn growing here in these weeds. This is going to be a future pasture for maybe goats in the backyard one day. And then way back there, let's see, yeah, over there, you can barely see them. I really don't want to show you because it's corn that looks even worse than this corn. Embarrassing, yes. You have to make mistakes, you have to fail. I'm trying to breed some type of corn that can survive in Florida. So far I get a handful of some, and I probably need to put more effort into it. But that's where I'm at right now with corn. And I'm crossbreeding all these different varieties and basically developing my own land race. You should be saving seeds to make your own stuff. You need to breed your own varieties, and if you don't know how to do that, get some seeds from neighbors who are breeding it. I guarantee you there's somebody who lives near you that breeds plants and grows stuff locally, and that would do really well in your yard. Well, we've got my water tank in the background. Look for opportunities. You have to look for them. Be on the lookout. Get creative. Marketplace, this thing popped up for 120 bucks. 850 gallon thing. It had DEF in it. Now, first I thought this is diesel exhaust fluid. Oh, that's some kind of chemical. It's going to be horrible. I looked it up. It's basically nitrogen fertilizer is what it actually is. And so this isn't chemically tainted. I can catch rainwater for irrigation, no problem. And all that DEF has been washed out long ago. And so I'm really not worried about it. If I wanted to drink it, I could boil it up and drink it. But don't want to do that, so not gonna. But this thing is absolutely full, and when the summer rains are all done, I've got 850 gallons of irrigation, and when our occasional fall rains come through, it gets topped back off. So look for opportunities. If you want to be a homesteader, you got to look for opportunities. Look, there's absolutely a place to research, watch videos like this and all that, but you really can't replace head knowledge with experience, actually doing stuff. And all these trees back here, they didn't get in the ground because I watched YouTube. They got in the ground because I put seeds in the ground and I sprouted things, and I looked up how to do something and then I did it. I'm gonna close up the ducks. Somehow they're already trained to go back into the coop. This is their safe space in the evening, and that is great. So hopefully we don't have another bird massacre if I'm consistent with closing it. Made a bad mistake. Let a few nights go by without closing the birds up, and a cat or a possum or something got a taste for bird meat and came after them. So we're keeping that closed and locking the gate. Raccoons could definitely get over that. This pile of fertility, another example of looking for opportunity. Guys were trimming trees back here. They had the big Asplunt trucks. I don't know how to say that. It's probably German though. And I said, hey, you want to dump this in the backyard? Jimmy was like, yeah, I'll dump it. Actually, it'd be better for me. He was very happy to do that. So just looking for opportunities is so important, and being bold enough to ask, get in people's business and say, hey, I need help with this. Hey, can you do this? Can I do that? Blah, blah, blah. I went to a farmstead convention recently. It was cool to connect with different people, and honestly I wish I'd have connected with more people that were local to me, and begin developing some community who's doing this too. And so now we have 5 people trying to breed the most amazing local variety of corn instead of just me. I should have brought seed to that place and given out handfuls to people. Said, hey, I want you grow corn? You know how to grow corn? Hey, you mind growing this corn? And let me know what happens, and we're gonna start some seed saving here. So anyway, this is my rant. It's almost over. The one last thing I'm gonna add here is, if you want to start a homestead, you should really be thinking about how you're going to make it regenerative. The saying on this channel is grow food and build soil. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And if I can't build soil while I'm growing food, the system will collapse at some point. I can either sustain it, or it's going to slowly degrade or quickly degrade. And so the focus here, and this is why I grow, weird stuff like moringa and catawba and whatever else, river tamarind, is I'm trying to grow something that is regenerating the soil, so my soil is getting richer and richer and richer over time. And when that happens, there I will be able to have more and more food. So that is the goal, and I would encourage everyone to be thinking about that, because we're trying to be abundant here. We're trying to be very fruitful. And I mean, that's in the beginning of the Bible. It just says be fruitful and multiply. That's not what this channel is about, though. It's about being fruitful and being faithful with what you've been given. So I try to be faithful with what I have, and it's a little backyard, and if I do everything I can in it. Raise pigs, raise ducks, chickens, grow all kinds of fun stuff. Nectarines, got like 70 nectarines this year. That's amazing, off that little tree. So growing watermelons, and then I've got some of David the Good's landrace watermelons that his son, well, I guess it's his son's. So yeah, I'm growing those out. See how those do. Experiment. Try. Put seeds in the ground. Go catch animals to raise, because you're too cheap to actually buy stuff, because you don't want to spend $15 on a hen that's just going to get killed. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. However you want to do it. But there's definitely ways. Oh, and the fig trees that I stole cuttings off of at the park, I did it. Now I'm growing fig trees from the park. Who knows what kind of variety they are, but probably some old kind, because that tree was getting shaded out and almost dead. So, but anyway, these are the ways I'm trying to help you guys think in getting these homesteads. So if you want to be a homesteader, first you got to be a bucket steader or a yard steader like me, and yeah, and have lots of adorable kids in the window like that little guy. All right, I gotta go be with my family. All right, see you, love you, bye.